We begin this morning with a threat from President-elect Donald Trump to impose tariffs on Mexico, Canada and China as soon as he takes office in January. In a post on Truth Social, Trump says the tariffs would remain in place against Mexico and Canada, quote, until drugs, in particular fentanyl and all illegal aliens, stop this invasion of our country, end quote. Both China and Canada say they're open to continued dialogue. A top Mexican official says increased tariffs will only make it more difficult to find solutions to other issues. This comes as the judge overseeing the federal election interference case against Trump dismissed the charges following a request from this man, Special Counsel Jack Smith. Now, Smith requested this because Justice Department policy forbids the prosecution of a sitting president. A spokesperson for Trump said, quote, today's decision by the DOJ ends the unconstitutional federal cases against President Trump and is a major victory for the rule of law. I want to bring in attorney and CBS News political reporter Katrina Kaufman now to dig into all of these major headlines. Katrina, this is a major legal hurdle that Trump has overcome, but this isn't being done due to the merits of the case. So what does this mean for Trump moving forward?
Errol, you're exactly right. What Jack Smith, the special counsel, has done is asked to have the cases dismissed without prejudice. And that means that technically the charges could potentially be revived. Although there are some complications here. One is that there's a 5-year statute of limitations, and it's never been tested whether that would be paused due to a presidency, because we've never been in this situation before, Errol. But it's very significant that this has happened. We knew that if Trump won the presidency, there was really no chance for these federal cases to move forward because Trump would have the ability to just have the charges dismissed. So Jack Smith has gone ahead and preempted that. He wanted to leave this open. He's really saying that he still stands by these charges, but he recognizes that due to the current circumstances, they just can't move forward. There's also the potential that Trump could try to preemptively pardon himself. And that's another thing, Errol, that we've never seen before. Can a president pardon himself from criminal charges?
Remarkable. I want to ask you about these tariffs Trump says he would impose on Mexico, Canada, and China. What would this look like?
So Trump is now saying that he wants to impose 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada, and then 10% tariffs on China, in addition to the tariffs that are already in place. And this could really have the potential to raise prices for American consumers. Trump's saying that he wants to do this to try to stem illegal immigration and to stop the flow of drugs into the country. So it's also possible that we'll see this play out as a bargaining chip, Errol.
There's another headline concerning one of Trump's close advisors, Boris Epshteyn. He's being accused of trying to personally profit from his ability to influence Trump's cabinet picks. He denies these allegations, but what can you tell us about this?
Errol, just for a little context on Boris Epshteyn, because people might not know who he is, but if you spend time around Trump world, he's really an ever-present person by Trump's side. During Trump's legal cases, for example, Boris was almost always in a seat in a row behind him, sometimes even passing notes to Trump's attorneys. It's now come to light that some people are saying that Boris came to them and gave them the impression that if they gave him money, he would help, jockey for them for these administration positions. For example, Scott Bessent, who was just given the Secretary of the Treasury position, said back in February, Boris came to him and asked for $30,000 or $40,000 a month so that he would push for Bessent for that role. There is also a former governor who went to Trump's team and said that he was uncomfortable, that he'd been made to feel as though he had to do business with Boris in order to get a position in the administration. Now, Eric Trump was on television last night, and he said if these allegations are true, a person like that would not be kept around Donald Trump. Donald Trump also gave an interview and said that no one in his orbit should be trying to make money, and he makes all of his own decisions about these nominations, Errol.
All right, we'll keep watching all of this closely. Katrina Kaufman, thank you very much.